Hey, how's it going? My name's Joey, and I've had a 2018 Ford Raptor for about a little over a week now, I think. Pushing a week. Maybe almost a week and a half. So I just figured I'd go over a couple of things, doing a really short review video on it, about what we've seen so far with it, experience so far, and how it's been going. So, had it for about a week and a half. I have about 486 miles on it, which I don't really drive that much, but brand new car, so you know, you make up excuses to drive it for the first few weeks at least, which I have. So just a quick overview of what I got. I got a 2018 Ford Raptor crew cab with the Leadfoot gray that they made for 2018. It's the replacement for Avalanche gray that they discontinued last year. I don't know if it's going to be a one-year color like that was or not, but I really like it. It's kind of a military flat gray without a metallic flake to it or anything. Really nice. It's a 802A package, which is the package with all the options available. Main one's the garage door opener that the other packages don't have. The only options I didn't get was the seat accents for the bolsters, where it's orange, racing orange along the side that matches the center of the steering wheel. I don't drink enough Diet Mountain Dew for something like that. And I also didn't get the graphics package on the hood or the back panels because I'm not going to forget what my car is called. And I don't like graphics on packages, and they were $2,000 for stickers. And I mean, I'm not paying $2,000 for stickers ever. You can get those aftermarket, by the way, if you do want them for some reason, for $200 or $300, I think I found. You just have to place them yourself, which is probably a big part of the cost because I'm sure that's kind of annoying. But save yourself $2,000. Don't worry about it. It's got the Raptor technology package, has the adaptive cruise control, the fog lights for the high beams, I believe it is, and it's also got the lane assist, which I've turned off because I'll use that on a road trip. Just driving around town, not necessarily signaling to change lanes when there's no one around me. It's kind of a hassle for the truck to vibrate or make a noise at you. The first time it happened, I actually thought something was wrong with my front end alignment. So I've turned that off for now. I'll use that on a long road trip just in case. I don't want to I get tired after I've been driving for a while, and it'll probably be nice for me to have something to kind of jar me awake. If I start to doze off or something, it'll actually, you can have it on different settings. It'll vibrate. It'll also pull the vehicle back into the lane, but it'll vibrate. And you can also set it so that it has an audible alert. And I think after 2 or 3 instances in a certain amount of time where you've slid out of the lane, it'll actually throw up like a cup of coffee on the display and say, hey, maybe you should stop and drink some coffee and not kill yourself, which kind of a funny image. But anyway, 802A, no seat package, no stickers, panoramic sunroof. I probably will hardly ever open it, but I got it mainly for resale value, and I just knew that if I didn't buy it, there'd be one day where I really wanted it, and then I'd be mad about it. But got that. If you're buying one of these for off-road, first of all, you're probably going to buy a shorter cab, just for the shorter wheelbase, and 2, you're probably not going to get a sunroof, because I would imagine a sunroof probably gets beaten to piss on the road, on trails and stuff like that. And it's probably, if you're rock crawling it or trailing it or you know, 80 miles an hour down dirt roads, it's probably not going to hold up well with all of the up and down on the vehicle, I would imagine. So, but for me, this is my daily driver. It's, you know, to work, to Kroger, you know, around town, etc. So it's okay. I can have a sunroof. I also didn't get the rear seats heated. It doesn't get cold enough here in Memphis to really merit it, and I don't really have a lot of passengers, so we skipped on that option as well. The other things I did pick up was I got the tailgate step. A friend of mine has a Platinum, and he's actually was the driving force for me getting one of these, but he has a Platinum and it has the tailgate step, and I just thought, I think it was around $300 or $400, it's just an option that the few times I actually need it, it's going to be really priceless to have. So grabbed that too. I got the bed liner sprayed in. They do that at the factory now. They don't send it off to local shops when the trucks come in. Had that done. Got the beadlock capable wheels, mainly just because they look better than the stainless wheels. I think they're stainless or polished, I can't remember. But they just look a little better, and I hadn't really planned on going and getting aftermarket wheels yet necessarily. So they look nicer on the truck. They're darker. They're like black and charcoal gray. So got those, and I think that's about it as far as options are concerned. But so far I've had it for, like I said, about a week and a half. Nearly 500 miles on it. I thought I was going to be kind of disappointed by it at some point along the way here, but honestly, I'm not. It's such a nice truck, and not even just because it's expensive. I think I was originally looking at a limited, which is not cheap either, but I mean, it's still around 10 grand less than a Raptor is. But these trucks are amazing. I've never owned a Ford other than I think I owned a Ford Taurus back in the late 90s, which was just horrific. So I've always been kind of, gun shy to Ford. But my mom's had a 1995 F150 since it rolled off the lot in 1995, and it still runs fine. I mean, she's had to fix things here and there because it's a 20-plus-year-old car, but these trucks are really nice. The technology's really strong on them. They've got a lot of features that I didn't know they had until my friend had me look at his truck, like the 360-degree camera, where you can click your camera button and it'll actually show you a 360-degree view of where all your bumpers are. And I'm not the best guy at driving and parking trucks. I'm just not. I'm hoping this will help me get better at it, but I'm just not the best at it. And the 360-degree camera is really nice. Shows you where all your corners are. Makes it easier to park. And it's got the backup camera, obviously. But the truck's been really good so far. I got about 500 miles on the first tank of gas. I think that's probably going to be the trend. You can run regular or premium on it, whichever one you want to run. Obviously, you're going to get a little better performance out of premium. The engine tunes itself down a little bit to adjust for the fuel type to prevent detonation and, allow you to fill a 36-gallon tank with slightly cheaper gas. Also, for matter of comparison, I'm going to be comparing this vehicle to my previous vehicle, which was a 2012 Grand Cherokee SRT. Not quite exactly the same vehicle, but that's what I drove, so I'm going to be making some comparisons to it as far as comfort and things like that. From a comfort standpoint, this thing is way more comfortable than the Jeep ever was. The Jeep had really bolstered seats. This thing doesn't, other than the sides. The sides have a little bit of bolster on them, but the seats are bigger. I'm a big guy. I'm 6.5 feet tall. I'm about 300 pounds. So I wasn't stuffed in the Jeep per se, but it wasn't the best fit. I was pretty comfortable, but it could have been better, and this truck is a lot better comfort-wise. It's got the 3.5-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost. That's something else that kind of freaked me out. I grew up on V8s, and I've always had V8s for the most part, so it weirded me out a little bit to buy a truck that had a V6 in it. But it's 450 horsepower and about 510 foot-pounds of torque out of a V6, and that's a stock V6 that hasn't had anything done to it at all. And usually from the factory they kind of down-tune things just a little bit. I don't know if Ford Performance necessarily does, but it's pretty good. It's not as fast as the Jeep was, obviously, but we're going from a 6.4-liter Hemi to a 3.5-liter twin turbo. Now, on paper, the Jeep only was about 20 more horsepower before I put any modifications to it, but it was still doing sub 5 seconds 0 to 60s. This thing won't do that, but that's okay. I honestly didn't use the Jeep for what it was designed for. I didn't track it. I would floor it at a red light here and there, and I would floor it on the highway every once in a while. But otherwise, it just got me to the grocery store at the speed limit, and not really missing much on the performance side. Now, granted, Ford is going to have, allegedly, they've been trying to pin down a release date for it from what I can read on the forums for the last year or so, that there's a intake and ECU tune from Ford Performance that will be respected by your warranty. So if you do buy one of these, and I know a lot of people that buy these are really wanting to go out and toss a tuner on it and toss an air intake on it. The whole Magnuson Law thing is great and all, but all it takes is one one whoops, and you know, your $300 intake just burned your warranty to some degree. Maybe not entirely, but it may burn out some of it. Or you just end up in a pissing contest with your dealership trying to figure something out, and now you've burned a bridge with your dealership, and I'm not really trying to do that. The truck costs too much, and I'm not a speed shop, and I don't have LeBron James money to just burn this thing if it doesn't work out. So they're going to have an intake and an ECU tune. A lot of the ones I've seen aftermarket talk about putting this truck to about 600 horsepower by the time they're done with just bolt-ons and tune, which, I mean, it's a twin turbo, so you can pretty much pull numbers out of thin air, and not like a naturally aspirated vehicle, which you got to put a supercharger on it and tune it and change out all sorts of things to start getting real numbers. But I don't know that Ford's gonna give the general population a tune that takes their truck to 600 horsepower and then warranty it. I'd be a little bit surprised. I mean, if they do, that's great and that's awesome, and I'll take it. But I'm waiting around for that to come out. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll do a video on that for sure. But until then, we're just going to ride around in stock. My main concern right now is trying to figure out if I want to do like an OptiCoat ceramic coating type thing, or if I want to do a clear plastic, like a Carbra thing, Expel or Suntech or probably 3M Pro, honestly, for either the hot points on the vehicle, the front and the side fenders around the mirrors and things like that, or if I just want to go ahead and spend the money, which was about $3,500, to do the entire truck in it, just to protect the paint. Still trying to figure out if that's what I want to do. It's a lot of money, and it might be overkill, honestly. My main concern is the front bumper, and then damage that could occur at a Kroger parking lot, for lack of a better description. Doors opening into it, people bumping into it, carts bumping into it, things like that. So I wouldn't necessarily need the entire cart covered in it, but I'm not there yet. And the only other thing I'm looking at doing to the truck is Addictive Desert Design. I think that's their name. I think it's ADD. They have a series of Raptor front and back bumpers, and I may look into replacing the stock bumpers possibly with a stealth kit, because I also want to put some LEDs in it, because it does have 6 auxiliary switches pre-wired for whatever jackass lights and horns and things you can think of to stick on your truck. So I've got 6 of them, and I'd like to get a few of them filled up at least. So I'm going to look at possibly looking into their bumpers. Combination bumpers, probably $3,500, not including light bars, and I'm hoping I can get a decent deal on installation through a buddy of mine that owns a 4x4 shop here in town. So we'll see how that plays out. Right now I'm just getting used to it and driving it around and trying to enjoy it, which I really have so far. Even if you, like I said, even if you don't get a Raptor, look at F150s. They're really comfortable. They're really nice. They drive really well. I haven't had a single problem with it so far. Granted, I'm only 500 miles into it, so I really would hope I don't have any problems with it just yet. But so far, so good. So just got in here to work. Just thought I'd do a quick video overview of it. Again, it's a 2018, and I'll do some more about it here in the next couple of days now that the weather's pretty nice, and hopefully I don't forget to charge my camera, and we'll go over a couple things. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll answer it. 100% chance, unless there's 50,000 of them, in which case I'm not going to answer them all. But leave a question, leave a comment, whatever you want to do, and I'll get back with you. And appreciate you watching. Also, if you go to Petco or PetSmart and you pay for your stuff and it says, hey, do you want to give a sad animal a couple of bucks? Give them a couple of bucks. Don't drink at Starbucks once a month, and do something useful with that money, and be nice to everybody. So take care.